guys, Courtney Mermaid here, and welcome back to my channel where I bring you mermaid-related content to help you live life so mermaid. And today I have a special topic in mind for what I would like to talk about, but first I want to remind you all that I now have a monthly mermaid tail coloring challenge going on over on patreonpod.com. For less than the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can join in on the challenge as well as access our private Discord community chat, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Now on to today's video. Last year was a year of major frustration, if I can be totally honest. Learning and growth for me as an artist. For those of you who are new or don't know, I was an artist in the animation industry for 8+ years. I've worked on a variety of TV shows, mobile games, even a feature film. Criticism, judgment, critiques, and feedback are all part of the great experience, and something you just sort of get used to over time. But what I want to talk to you about today is what happens when you lose your own appreciation for the skills you have and start relying way too much on the opinions and validation of others to feel any sense of worth in your abilities as an artist. Now, I want to preface this by saying my experience in the animation industry and the mobile games industry was not a bad one. It was just I lost myself somewhere along the way, and as I'm going to discuss coming up, it led me down a bit of an interesting path, which, I mean, it actually led me here, so I really can't, you know, be too upset with all of that. But these are just some things that I've kind of learned over my years in the industry that I thought would be good to share with you guys. So it's natural to want to compare ourselves to others. It's really common, actually, in the industry. You get sort of lost in it after a while, you know, and it's not, I mean, you can't really say it's any fault of the industry or any fault of your own. It's just something that kind of happens, you know, especially if your style doesn't necessarily match that of the show that you're working on and you are actually being compared to other artists. And they're usually artists who you may have looked up to or be intimidated by or inspired by or any of that kind of thing, really. But the worst kind of part is what happens when you actually do get lost in this comparison cycle. You start to believe that you aren't good enough, regardless of the situation or the project you're working on or who you're working with. And I say this, of course, from firsthand experience. I also apologize for my bird twittering in the background. She thinks I'm talking to her, but, you know, what are you gonna do? I don't have a sound booth, you guys. I'm working on it, okay? Now, as a professional artist, you do need to have a thick skin. You need to be able to work collaboratively, and you need to be able to let go of any artistic control you think you have. Because you don't have any, trust me. It's all fluid, and you need to be able to go with the flow, okay? However, and this is a big however, at the end of the day, you need to find the balance. Look back at your old art with appreciation and not judgment. I know this is really hard to do. It takes some practice, guys. Know that you've worked so hard to achieve your goals. You know, maybe you went to art school, maybe you're self-taught, maybe it was online, you know. I know that my experience, and maybe one day I'll do a video on that, you know, I didn't make it into art school. Twice I was waitlisted. It was not easy, and I was told by one of my instructors I would never make it as an artist, and that was the hardest thing to hear, and I cried like I tried not to, but it happened, and yet here we are. You know, it all kind of works out if you believe. You know, that's a whole other, I guess, topic of discussion, really. There's always room for improvement, you know, absolutely. It's foolish to think otherwise. You know, you really kind of put yourself in a narrow mindset if you don't think you have any room for improvement, regardless of how talented you or skillful you may be. But you do need to be able to sleep at night too, you know. It can be hard when you don't feel like you're good enough, you know. All that we can ever tell ourselves is that we're not good enough. How are we ever going to find peace and enjoyment in our work? You know, we can't always be looking to the future like, oh, if one day I can do hands as good as this person, or one day I can paint as amazing as this person. Like, no, I mean, yes, you do want to strive for the improvement, but look, you know, you have to be able to look at your stuff now and think, this is what I appreciate about myself now, and be able to live with that, you know? Celebrate your successes, however small or big they may be. You know, be proud of your journey. It's unique to you. Nobody else is going through what you're going through. The good, the bad, and the ugly, you know what I'm saying? And it makes it all special, and it makes it all, you know, magical, if we can just take it a step further here. Regardless of what the rest of the world may try to tell you. Continue learning, but appreciate and value the skill set you have right now. This is a hard one. You know, this sort of sums it all up. You do need to continue learning, especially if you'd like to be a professional artist. You can't just stay stagnant and doing the same thing. You know, that's how you become irrelevant in the industry. You need to be continuing to move and continuing to do. But also don't forget to value yourself right now. This is the only moment that we all have, is right now. So appreciate it. You know, you can receive all of the praise in the world from all of the masters, you know, in your field, you know, of your craft. But if you don't have your own foundation of value in yourself, you know, and what you bring to the table, you won't feel like any of it's true. Anything they say to you, you won't feel like it's real. You'll feel like it's coming from a negative place. And trust me, I've actually had this experience where, you know, it's like you receive job offers, but you don't believe it, or you receive good feedback or even outstanding feedback, and you still sit there and you're like, no, this can't possibly be, because you have no faith in yourself. You don't believe that you are worthy of any of it, because you don't have any value for yourself. And it's taken me 7 months, guys. 7 months. 7 months, guys, to get back to having any semblance of faith or trust or pixie dust. Did I just do that? I think I just did that. Sort of in myself, you know? So I can leave you with a little piece of advice from someone who went from having confidence, because I had confidence at one point or another. You know, I was managing a team of like 12 people or more, and I was, you know, I could do it, I could do the thing. Then it went to no confidence at all and feeling so low that I actually did give up and was like, I'm not even gonna do this anymore. It's not even worth it anymore. And, you know, taking the time away and being able to find sort of forgiveness and patience with myself. And I know maybe that sounds a bit kooky and maybe, you know, not what you signed up for. but it's kind of true. Just being able to look at my sketches and not judge myself and say, like, you know, not every piece of art has to be a portfolio piece. Sometimes you can just draw for the sake of drawing, just like you used to, you know, and I'll get to that in a second. But it's a hard thing to kind of wrap up, right? Like, everybody wants to be that artist, the best artist, but you have to start somewhere, and you have to have that journey and that, you know. So back to my little piece of advice. What I'd love to see you guys do is take some time today or tomorrow or whenever you have time to draw for you. Don't share it on social media. Don't show it to anyone. Just do a drawing of whatever makes your heart sing, and do it just for you. Just for fun, you know, just like you used to before it became all about the pressure and comparisons. You know, just like when you were a kid and grabbed your crayon for the first time and started doodling up the side of the wall, you know? Do it just for you, because you matter, you know? Your experience matters. Your love for the craft has to still be there. Not has to still be there, but it is still there somewhere. You just have to kind of unlock it again, you know? It's the artist's struggle, guys. It really is. While you're doing that, sort of take a moment to reflect on your journey. Look at where you were a year ago, or even 5 years ago. Even if you're just starting out, have patience with yourself. Please, please, please don't be like me. Honestly, if I could go back in time and sort of, you know, nicely smack myself upside the head and say, hey, genius, like, it's okay. This is all in your head, and I know that that doesn't make it any less, you know, valid, but your opinion also matters. You know, not everybody's gonna get that, but, and it's not always true, unfortunately, in the industry. Sometimes you're going to be asked to draw something and you think, and they think, yeah, and you're like, well, I guess I just have to do this. But you have to find your peace with that too. It's really important to keep your sanity. Just trust me on that one. Anyways, I know I have a bit more of the art to go here, so I'm just gonna let this play out. I hope you're enjoying my drawing so far. This is Meg, in case you hadn't guessed, from Disney's Hercules that I decided to do as a mermaid. I have kind of a theme going with a couple of different princesses and other characters and stuff, and comment below if you have an idea for who I should doodle next, and I might have to add it to the list. I'm actually working on Merida, I think, next, but the one after that, okay? There you go. So I'll let this just kind of play out, and I will see you guys at the end of the video. Alright, if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button to join the pod and the bell notification as well so you never miss an upload. If you don't want to say goodbye just yet, be sure to swim on over to patreonpod.com to join our extended pod community. For less than the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can gain access to behind-the-scenes content, our monthly mermaid tail coloring challenge, our private live stream, Discord chat, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Happy swimming! Bye!